People of the internet, Austin comedians are tired of Rogansphere labels and New York comics. And today we're going to hear from Austin comedians about how they feel about both and how they want their comedy recognized, not just the Rogansphere. Here we go.
I like that.
Last time I did comedy out of Austin, there was 2 other guys from Austin in the lineup, and the local comics were playing Austin Comedy Bingo, which is 3 squares, and it's who can say the F word, right? Who can say retard,
That's like the free
and
bingo
who can
card.
say 9/11.
Yeah.
So I went on stage and I said, which one of you F word retards did 9/11?
I don't get why 9/11's on there. Is that all Austin comedy talking
Apparently, I don't know.
I mean, have you been in New York?
Oh, they don't get to talk
bring,
about it?
No, they literally bring it up every time they get a chance to.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, we have a bad rap.
Get over it.
Yeah.
New
What do
York.
you think about people? I mean, obviously you've heard people are hating on Austin comedy.
We don't even talk about Austin comedy
as the new king of
Yeah,
comedy.
we're not supposed to. Yes,
as the new king of Austin
I think
comedy.
this might be a loophole.
the new king.
You're the new king. How do you feel?
Yeah.
What do you feel is being misrepresented as someone who can truly speak? Do it.
It's funny that people say that because people are like, all they do is talk about these things. I'm like, but if you go to any of these scenes, there's literally people just still doing the same as that thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just like
It's comedy.
Yeah, it's comedy. But all like same time, it's like Austin seemed to be the okay spot for them to get away with it and make it feel like it. So that's why everybody's like, oh, you can just get away with it. I'm like, no, it's just that Austin don't showcase the other comedians as well. So it's like you don't want this label, that's fine, but don't let that be the only people you showcase. If you want to,
Yeah.
you know, if you don't want this image.
Do you see that? Even Austin comedians are tired of the Rogansphere and the image they have created for the Austin comedy scene. And I can sympathize with that because, you know, they're probably out there and true. Austin comedy probably isn't all like the Rogansphere, right? But the Rogansphere have gone in there, moved in there, taken it over, and that's all anybody hears about of Austin comedy. So many people think that is Austin comedy. But for me, there's also the disagreement with that, because you remember Mark Pugh, the Austin comic who left the scene and made the whole video about that. Well, he was saying he was experiencing these things too around Austin, and how Austin had a comedy scene where nobody cares about you. So when I'm watching this, I want to sympathize and go, yeah, that's true, because, you know, you can't put one label, you know, for everybody in the Austin comedy scene. But also, you know, there's conflicting reports that maybe they're not all telling those jokes, but the Austin scene isn't very welcoming, isn't very open to outsiders. So it could be possibly true that the things they're talking about in Austin in reference to the Rogansphere is Austin comedy as well. I mean, it's complex. You really got to like try and break these things down. I'm just fucking with y'all. Oh man, this is great. I love the drama.
Of you.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of
like,
silliness here that doesn't get really highlighted as much as it should.
No, it's not. Like it's a lot of great other comics, but you only want to highlight the same 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It's like, no, just showcase.
There's a lot of different styles of comedy that aren't showcased. The silly, the slapstick.
I'll be honest, at this point, I think shitting on Austin comedy for saying whatever, all those words and stuff.
Hack.
It is hack. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
At this point, so many comics have been like, oh, go to Austin with your anti-woman take. It's like, that's hacky to say.
I got told the other day because I was joking about being a baby who did not get born but walked out. I was in the green room dicking around. Is when I was riffing it out. And one of the people from New York was in the green room and goes, "Oh, it's so good to be back in Austin," like facetiously. And I was like, I'm having a fun green room, very, very silly green room riff about a baby walking out, and this is, what are you trying to say right now?
You know, my thing, I'll be honest, all those words that people are like, oh, in Austin, you could just say them on stage. My thing is like, I don't even want to say those things on stage, and I don't say those things on stage. I want to say those things off stage. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's honestly no fucking shit. Because it's like on stage, on stage, these are paying customers. These are people who give a shit. I want to give a good performance. I'm not trying to polarize or alienate the audience. I want to be as funny as I can for my whatever allotted time. In the back, I don't want to have to worry. In the green room, I don't want to have to worry about what words I'm saying. Yeah, if I let a fucking thing go, I don't want to have to be like, who did I fucking live?
Yeah,
that's the only place I give a fuck about.
New York wants to sit there and complain, but when you
I mean, I don't think that's the best statement to give to try and explain that, because you made a statement that said you don't want to say those things to protect your career and your comedy and give a great performance, but you're willing to say those things off stage, which I mean isn't a great take, because if we just hand that statement to the internet and then people know what the Rogansphere is known for, that means you could have a desire to say the N-word and not get in trouble for it. You could have the desire to hate on women and not get in trouble for it. I mean, that's not the greatest statement to make, and people can think more about that in context to the Rogansphere. And I just don't think that's a good. I think, if a culture has a word that is super offensive, if somebody not from their culture says it, then you shouldn't say it just to keep respect between people. It's that easy. It's just a stupid things to say. I get we want to joke around, but I think, there's boundaries, and I'm not like some great gatekeeper. I just think you should have a certain amount of respect for people. And if you don't want people being mad about that, or don't want people questioning you, you probably shouldn't say those things in the green room. Not everyone in that green room is your friend, even though they may act like it. And that's just normal in life. And other people are going to hear it. I just don't know. I don't understand why it's such a hard fucking thing to do to not offend people with words that are offensive. They're just words you just, and you shouldn't hate on women or whatever you guys don't like. Then if you, and here's the other thing. If you're comfortable saying those things when you're not on stage, at some point you're going to say those things, and maybe you don't realize you're saying things that people are talking about because you're so used to saying them. Either way, that statement was ridiculously stupid, complex, and totally can be read into from many different angles, and I don't think it helps your cause. But moving on.
You come to town, you sure as hell like to get on every single show in town and act like you what?
Well, New York comics don't really do material neither. All they do is crowd work. They trying to look for the next clip. Yeah, but I noticed that when I was there too. I was like, you guys don't write jokes. It's hard to even ask a New York comedy to do more than 8 minutes.
Right. Can I tell you something?
Here's my fire back at the New York comedy scene. Hey, New York, there's only subways in New York. If you come to Austin and you talk about a fucking train one more time, you're fired. You're fired. Take the train back home. All the way. Try to take a train back to New York, and it'll take you 5 fucking days.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just like they talk shit. They come.
No, there was
an
open mic at Sunset a month or so ago, and there were like 5 comics from New York, open mic comics, and they just came in and they were just like, "This mic fucking sucks, man. We should have stayed in New York. Austin's gay." They did that 5 comics back to back to back, and then I went up later and I was just like, "That is the most 3-year into comedy attitude I've ever fucking seen in my life." Where you're like, this isn't exactly like the place I'm from.
We actually we torched their ass from the soundboard too.
I mean, if we're speaking honestly, all these guys look like Kill Tony fans. I'm just saying. I mean, I think, if I were to make a guess, I would think some of the things New York comics and people are saying about the Austin comedy scene are true. But also, we can't really know, because these guys are kind of getting a little worked up about this because they're backed in a corner because everyone is hating on Austin. I mean, these guys aren't coming off the best for me, right? I mean, they just aren't. If they're trying to make their case, they really haven't labeled any facts. And the whole crowd work versus jokes thing, whatever. I think that's so stupid because here's the thing. They go, you don't write any jokes. Okay. I don't sit home, take a long time to write a joke, go practice it, write a joke. I'm going on stage without knowing anything, going up to somebody, riffing and coming up with ways on the spot, which would be jokes, to make people laugh. I don't get it. I think it's harder. You know, I think if I put a little bit of effort into it and use some good audio engineering, I could make a rap song, right? But if you ask me to go down to like, you know, Rucker Park and get in the cypher or whatever and freestyle off the riff, bro, that's harder. That's hard. I could do it though. I'm just saying. I got it like that. But either way, I think it's harder to improvise like that. You remember the show Whose Line Is It Anyways? That is funnier than anything I've ever seen come out of Austin. And those guys were making that stuff on the spot. So I don't really get the argument. At the end of the day, you're both making people laugh and both creating jokes. One is sitting at home practicing, polishing it. The other is coming up with it on the spot. What's the argument? What is the argument? It's just another way. People just like to be like, well, my comedy's better than your style of comedy. That is just how people is. That's what this channel is doing because the Rogansphere comedy is absolutely terrible. But anyways, I don't get the whole crowd work thing. And the reality is people want to watch clips. Most people aren't watching your Netflix special. That's just how it is.
Oh yeah,
I know,
I walked in on that.
Yeah,
I
it was
walked
just
in on
so
like, what's
pathetic.
going on? Like, a bunch of New York guys upset. They came here like,
Because
oh fuck 'em.
when I was 3 years into comedy, you go to another comedy scene, you go like, oh, so where are the other spots? What else is going on?
What do I do?
Yeah,
I'm
this
trying to
mic
do
sucks,
some.
but what else?
I'm trying to do
is there?
some comedy, so I'm going to do my jokes because I'm in another state.
This scene is so anti-woke. Anyways, I got to go sign up for Kill Tony.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
That's my favorite, dude. That is my favorite, dude.
God, you sure do love the city's platforms, but you hate to think you're a part of it.
Yeah.
God Lord.
Yeah, why did y'all come here if you don't want to come here? You don't have to come here. You don't have to go anywhere you don't want to, actually.
Yeah.
That's true.
This is why we typically don't talk about Austin.
Yeah,
Colorado
even though
podcasts.
I will tell you this. The one thing I do hate about Austin, I will say that
Here's the thing with the Rogan Sphere and now with Austin comics is they get so offended when you have an opinion. Isn't that amazing? I mean, basically the whole internet. If you don't agree with somebody, you're a loser. It's whatever, right? And I just don't get why you can't have your own opinion. And people just go, okay, you have an opinion, right? Right? I mean, I have lots of opinion. People don't like it, but I keep having my opinion and they're not changing it because I'm okay with my opinion and people not liking it. Why can't Austin? Austin just seems so offended. And the more these people try to come out and tell us it's not like that, the more they show us it is like that. Because these guys are getting so mad that people don't like their comedy. And I have shown you guys comedy like lifestyle. I did that series with that guy. I was watching him. He was a young comic trying to get into the scene, going to the clubs. I have seen many types of Austin comedy, and none of it has been funny. None of it has been funny. Okay? And so I have yet to see proof from Austin comedians or the Austin comedy scene that they're not bad. I've watched many of Austin comics and they're terrible. It just is. And the thing is y'all are trying to act like you have a scene there, that you have something funny, and there's so much proof that my opinion and many other people's opinions are accurate and true, and there's very little opinions from this scene and these comedians that they're funny. I don't know, but maybe in the next like couple of minutes, they'll help us solve that.
I hate the city of Austin when I'm driving in traffic and I want to kill myself. That's the only time I go, I fuck Austin.
Yeah,
But
and that's
on
the
stage,
thing.
I'm going to still do comedy.
That's the thing. New York, there's no traffic.
Yeah, and LA, no traffic.
No traffic.
People don't talk about that. New York, you can just get places
You
so
really
easily.
can't. There isn't
No
back-to-back
homeless
traffic.
people.
No homeless
Everything
people.
is so cheap.
Yeah.
And so clean.
Subways, the
Yeah,
subways
it's
you can
so
take.
clean.
Clean.
There's no crime.
No,
Yeah.
none whatsoever.
Right. So affordable.
Yeah.
You can love to do comedy.
They're
in an
affordable for a
place.
studio apartment in New York, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't have to have roommates in New York.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't
No.
even need.
No, you get to because there's so fun people.
So many
Right,
people, and they're,
right.
they're so great to hang around with.
Every time I meet a
They're
New
so
Yorker,
happy.
I'm like, wow, I'm
Also,
just so happy.
when you pay for open,
Okay. I don't know if anyone shares this opinion, but the best comedians look funny. Do you do this where you look at people and look funny? Not one of these guys looks funny. They look like the people you would see that are actually hanging out in the Denny's at 2 a.m. after you get out of the club and you're trying, like they've been there all night, right? They've been hanging out in the Denny's all lonely and single. These are what these guys look like. Not one of them look funny. I just have this thing like somebody looks funny and they almost always are. I don't know if anybody else has that, but man, do you see this dude? This dude's leg is so skinny and it's so white. I mean, he needs to put some high socks on. He shouldn't be. Anyway, sorry, that was bothering me. Continuing on.
open mic time.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
makes
yeah.
people
Well, yeah,
like more
'cause that's the-
focused.
Paying
That's the
is
thing
the
is you got to
best.
pay for the open mic. You got to
Yeah.
pay for the open mic.
Yeah, but
Right.
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that
My
makes
favorite
sense.
thing about paying for open mics is when I get to you pay to perform in front of the other paying comics.
Oh my goodness,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
That's
Love
the
that-
best show you can
I
do.
love that their crowd is mostly comedians.
What do you-
Hey.
it's B2B.
Yeah.
It's straight. I
Yeah.
get to perform right for the booker.
Right.
That's right.
I don't even have to
I
no
don't-
tape. I
because
just
none
pay
of the
you.
bookers, none of the bookers don't. All the bookers don't live in New York, but
Yeah.
they still book you because
Yeah, because
word
you
of
did
mouth.
the paid show.
Yeah,
Can I go to the bathroom during this paid show? No, you have to sit in the room the entire time. Okay.
because you're the audience.
Yes.
Great time.
Pay for your mic. Do
Okay, another thing. I don't understand why comedians want to perform for other comedians. Is that just an Austin thing? Because it seems like an Austin thing because they have a sympathy for each other and how bad they are that they won't get it. But in my opinion, if I'm performing, like, I don't want to perform for the same people. You know, like if you're performing for people that are in your industry, they're the most judgmental motherfuckers and they're the people that are lie to your face. If I was a comedian, an audience ain't gonna lie to me. These comedians lie to each other and say they're not funny. Now I never seen these specific comedians, but from my intuition and seeing them, I could almost 100%, 99%, sorry, almost bet. But I'd be willing to take an honest look, right? But I just don't understand why comedians. I mean, your coworkers, you know, people that do the same, they're judgmental. They're like, oh, that worked. They're looking, oh, that's nice. But then they tell somebody else, or when you ask them what changed, well, I would start with, you know, I would want to perform for fans or people that want to see comedy because at least it's honest. You know, they'll tell you if you're funny or not. But maybe that's the whole problem. They keep performing for other comedians because nobody else is showing up, or they're at the mothership protecting the cult of Rogan, you know, and they never leave their echo chamber and realize that, nobody in Austin wants to see this.
Put 2 out and your 2 item minimum.
2
after
item
mic.
minimum.
Yeah.
As well.
When I lived in LA, I signed up to do one of the 10-minute open mics,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I think was like
It's $10.
$10 instead of $5.
That's right.
So I paid $10 to go do 10 minutes. I get there. There's nobody there other than the girl running the thing. She was like, well, you're the only one who signed up, so I can give you a refund or you can do 10 minutes for me. So I just yelled at her for 10 minutes. I was like, I drove down here. I fucking parked. I paid to park. I paid you. You're going to hear my rant for the day.
Bro, every time this guy talks, I don't know if you every time, this is what I see right here. I don't see his face. I just keep looking at the scar on his knee. That thing, what happened? That's what I'm wondering. What happened that literally took a chunk of your leg out? It looks like a piece of trim. You see the angle right there? It looks like someone just jabbed a piece of trim into his leg. Or, anyways, man, I don't know if other people like that. I'm focused. I see something like that. That's all I see. Like with the other guy's little bird legs. That was all I could. Whenever he talked and they zoomed out, I was, oh, put some socks on, brother. Anyways, continuing on. Hey, I'm sorry. I know you see it. You probably see things on me, and that's okay. At least you're paying attention. At least you're paying attention, okay?
Pay her $10 and you tell everything bad about her.
Yeah.
That you hate about her, and she has to sit there for it because she's.
I mixed in some bits. I did a lot of crowd.
Oh, you're ugly. Your hair stank. I don't like
so
your
you're
outfit.
Jewish, huh?
Your clothes are shit. Oh,
She
you
was.
Jewish. Oh, I know which one you're talking.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know,
one?
man.
I love it.
Every scene ain't perfect, but don't act like your scene is better than the other.
All I'm gonna say is
Just because
comedy.
you pay more for rent than we do doesn't mean your
Yeah.
scene's better than ours.
I'm gonna say
Yeah, that guy just gives me real douchey vibes. But he might be cool, but he seems to take this too serious. I just know every time you're trying to do something, people are going to hate on it, right? That's just how it is. And there's going to be legit criticism, and then there's not going to be legit criticism. This criticism, I think, that goes towards Austin and the Austin comedy scene is legit because the specials that are coming out of there, both big comedians or famous comedians and small comedians, are bad so far. And I've watched a lot of them. I wouldn't say it's necessarily just Austin. I just think they're the worst at it. I personally think comedy is in a real bad state where the bar is set so low that all we're getting is just absolute garbage, and everyone can be a comedian now, a funny comedian. That's what you say. Everyone could be a world-renowned superstar comedian, overnight apparently, because all these guys claim that it's good, and we're not seeing good. If you want us to believe that Austin comedy is good, show us some good comedy and stop crying about it. I think you're getting the attention you deserve because there is no proof to state otherwise. And the stack of proof of bad Austin comedy, I have like over 300 videos about it because there's that much proof. So I think you either need to stop trying to convince people, or the worst and the lame. If you don't like it, then leave. Don't come here. Well, that's lazy. I can have a fucking opinion, and just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean I have to leave. It's my opinion, and maybe there are some things that should be focused on. But I think Austin is a town of excuses. That's just what I'm getting.
I think it does.
Across the board, if we're complaining about small shows, all small shows usually do suck. Most comedy is not the best to do.
Yeah.
There's the truth.
And every open mic is not fun.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I agree. Honestly, Austin is so bad. Austin sucks. We should all leave.
Yeah,
We
everybody
should
leave.
burn the city down. We
Yeah,
should
it
close
is.
all the clubs.
And I don't mean to be divisive, but if you're going to come down here and enjoy the milk and honey, enjoy it.
No, I think we should blow it up.
Yeah.
I think we should get rid of it.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm kidding, but
He's trying to just get people to leave so we can more spots.
I do like when they leave.
So we can continue on in our bad comedy because heaven forbid anybody have an opinion or make you realize the facts of something.
Because rent does get cheaper. It's getting
Rent
cheaper.
do get cheaper.
yeah.
Mine
When's the
gets
last time
higher.
rent got cheaper in New York? 9/11.
I gotta pee.
I gotta pee.
That was a
There it is. Well, do you agree with them or do you not? I understand, they may not necessarily be the targets, and hey, they could be funny. I don't know. I'm just guessing off of all the stuff I've seen before. that they're probably not. In my mind, hey, I'm objective. I'm the most objective comedy streamer. And I would give it a shot, right? But I think this coming on shows and whining about it, you're feeding the trolls and making my content. So technically, I don't mind. But if I were to give you advice, I'd say, prove them wrong. You know, the same people told me at 1,000, you'll never get past 1,000. You'll never get 2,000. Yeah, I don't listen to that. I just keep going because I like join it. It's what I like to do. And I'm going to prove you wrong. At the end of the day, and I'm stubborn. I am so stubborn about that. And I think that's the way to do it. To go out, work in your craft, and make it so there's no room for error. But there's a lot of error in Austin right now. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Do you like to bang? You don't stay. Do you like to bang? You don't stay.